All right. Come on. Okay. Now, again, we were at number 22. All right. And again, I need everybody to have their calculators out. All right. And I need you to remember all kinds of new ways to use your calculator efficiently. All right. If you forgot how to do something, let me know. Number 22, it says the largest and smallest sea stars on record measured 37 4/5 by, 7/10 of an inch. How many times larger is the largest sea star? What do I do on this?
You have to do 37 4/5 divided by 7.
Exactly. Now listen to me. And again, I'm trying to give you some good advice here on the word problems. So basically what happens is some kids made a mistake last year because it says how many times larger, so they thought they just what? Multiply it, right? But when you're trying to find out how many times bigger something is, you have to divide to see how many times bigger it is. All right? So please, guys, stay with me. All right? Pay attention. All right? And what was the answer? 54 times. So I would want you to write down 54 times. That's what I need from you. All right? Now, also, because you're going to be doing some studying, all right, you kind of check the ones you got right and highlight the ones you got wrong. All right? Yes.
My dad helped me do a different way, but I still have to say.
Perfect. And again, you will find out there are lots of ways to do these problems. All right? Lots of ways to figure it out. All right? Now, question number 23 is kind of similar. All right, there's multiple ways to do this one also. It says, you are given $35 to buy blue fabric to help make costumes for a school play. The fabric costs $6 per yard. Do you have enough to buy 4 7/8 yards of fabric?
Okay, so you know the cost per yard, which is 6.
Right?
And then you know how much you need. So you would take 6, which is the cost per yard, times how much you need.
That's exactly right. And what is 6 times 4 7/8?
29 and 1/4.
29.25. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Now, why am I using 25 cents? Because we're talking about money, even though it doesn't matter. All right? So the question is, do you have enough money?
Yes, because it's less than.
Yes, you do.
Oh,
Yes. What?
I think I did it weird because I did 35.
No, listen, you didn't do it a weird way. Doing 35 divided by 6 will give you the total amount that you could buy.
Yeah.
And since that is bigger than the other, then it's still yes.
So can
All
I
right.
do that one?
Yes. Girls, part of my issue right now is you guys aren't listening to me. All right, I've already said there are multiple ways to do the problem. You have to come up with some way that you did it. I'm not going to mark you wrong for getting the right answer. Does everybody hear me on that? Right? I'm looking up and you guys are like doing stuff back there. All right, I want you concentrating on me up here. What?
On the test, would you want us to, I know you'd want us to show all the work that you have, but would you need us to say like how many extra or anything like that? Or just
You answer the question,
Okay.
right? But you would either have to have this written down on your paper or you would have to have this written down on your paper,
Okay.
right? And then I would know you know exactly what's going on. All right? Now, the next one I don't want to waste much time on because we've already done area so much. Area is equal to length times width. So, William, did you do that?
Yes.
What is it?
Well,
I want the answer.
17 and 3/5.
17 and 3/5 what? Inches.
17 and 3/5 inches squared.
That's right, inches squared because we're measuring area. All right, so you're doing 6 2/5 times 2 3/4. We've done that enough. Jack, what?
I don't have like a stylus.
I'm out of stylus too, so you're just gonna have to
Use your finger.
Just let me get through. It's taking me way too long today to get going. All right. All right. Now 25. All right, I kind of did this in the last class, but let's figure out. I don't think this was a big deal for us. Was everybody okay with this being what?
Yes.
10.
10 times.
Right? 2.5 divided by 1/4. But the other thing I wanted you to recognize, right? If you have a quarter of a teaspoon, how many quarter teaspoons make one whole teaspoon?
2.
Think about what I just said.
4.
4, right? So I need 2 teaspoons, correct?
Yes.
So that would be 8, right? And then I have an extra half, so I would need how many more? 2 more, thank you. So I need a total of what? 10. So that's the reasoning behind it, correct?
Yes.
All right, but if you were thinking carefully, it could just be what? 2.5 divided by 1/4. Everybody happy with that?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Now, the next one, if you got 26 right, I'm pretty impressed.
I got it right.
All right, what did you get?
I got 40.
Yes, we got 40 CDs. All right, now I want you to explain it. Now, on the last class, I kind of tried to draw the picture out. All right, so you can kind of see what we're getting at. All right, but you go ahead and tell me.
Okay, so it says that a CD case is 3/8 wide. A cassette is 5/8 inches wide. If you want to put 8 cassettes on a shelf that is 20 inches wide, how many CDs will fit in the remaining space? So you have to start by doing 5/8 times 8 because the cassette is 5/8 inches wide and you say 8 cassettes.
Now look what I did up here, guys. He said everything perfect. Couldn't say anything different. So what I try to do sometimes is I try to visualize the answer, right? So I stacked what? 8 of them up there. And each case was 5/8 of an inch. So that gave me 5/8 times 8, which gave me a total of what? 5 inches on my shelf space was used. All right, continue on.
And then it says that the shelf is 20 inches wide, so you have to subtract the 5 inches that is already taken up by 20.
So you have what?
I got 15 inches left.
So you have 15 inches left. Exactly. And now what?
And then since it asks you how many CD cases can fit the remaining, and a CD case is 3/8 inches wide, so you have to do 15 divided by 3/8.
Exactly. Guys, come on now. That was really actually very hard. So I feel like if you understood that, you're in pretty good shape. I'm not sure there's much I could throw at you. All right. Now, right now though, if you didn't see it, I want to know. If I can draw it better for you, I want to know. If you're not sure why I divide, I want to know. Yes.
I just have a quick question. How come you, because I did multiply 5 by 8, so how would you know 15 divided by 3/8?
Okay, so that's a very good question. So now what I want to do is I want you to look down here because this is how I tried to explain it to my other class. You with me? So this right here, I'm going to try to, so you can see it better. This right here represents my 15 inches, right? So what I'm doing now is I'm creating 3/8. There's a 3/8. This is a 3/8. This is a 3/8. This is a 3/8. This is a 3/8. Do you see that? You sure? Right, because each CD is 3/8 inches, correct? Now, what am I doing to the 15 inches? No. What am I doing? These marks, what am I doing to the 15? No. What am I doing to the 15? Somebody help her. What am I? Yeah, I'm dividing it up. See if you can visualize that. Yep. I'm dividing the 15 inches into what? 3/8 of an inch. Right? So I can fit a CD, I could CD there, CD there, CD there. You see what I'm doing, right? What am I doing to that 15 inches? I'm dividing it up. You not see that yet? I'll show you again. You see what I'm saying? The 15 inches is being cut up into sections. Right? You're cutting it up. Each slice is 3/8 of an inch. How many 3/8 of an inches do we get? Right? That's why we do 15 divided by 3/8. Now listen. your mind is having an issue because what if I said this? What if I said you had 15 inches, but each one was 3 inches wide? How many could you fit on the shelf? Let me draw it one more time. So this is 15 inches. I have a book that's 15 inches wide. How many books could I fit on the shelf? Shh. This is 15 inches, and each book is 5 inches. How many books can I fit on my bookshelf? Exactly, right? So how did I do that? I did 15 divided by 5. You with me? That's how I got 3. So it's kind of the same principle. Now, a lot of times, kids, it's hard for you to see the fractions. That's why I used to make numbers easier for myself. So then I would know whether I'm adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing.
Okay,
All right.
so you would just like what you
I
said.
would create my own numbers,
Okay.
right? Because to me, 15 inches, I have 5-inch books. I knew I could fit 3 on my shelf,
Okay.
right? So that was easier than looking at trying to figure out what the fractions were. It's harder to see when you divide fractions. Why does 15 divided by 3/8? That doesn't even sound right. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
15 divided by 3/8, who would know that that was 40? You with me? But listen to me now, because this is important. Look up. Everybody. If I take 15 and I divide it into 3/8, right? Listen to me. For every 1 inch, pay attention now, this is important. For every 1 inch, there's about 3 CDs. Does everybody see that? Now, how did I know that? Because 3/8 plus 3/8 plus 3/8 is what? 9/8.
And it's about
Does everybody see that? 9/8 is about what? 1 inch. So if I was estimating, I would then say there's 15 inches, right? I can fit 3 in 1. So 3 times 15 is about 45. You see what I'm saying? So I like to try to convert the inches into something that I understand. Does that make sense? So if each is 3/8 of an inch, if I add 3 of them, that's 9/8 of an inch, which is close to 1 inch. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's lots of ways to think about it so your brain can understand what the numbers are. Because if I ask most kids what's 3/8 of an inch look like, they sit and stare. Right? 3/8 of an inch is pretty what? Small or large? Small, right? Right? Does everybody agree with me?
yeah.
All right. So let's carry on. All right. Hold on now. Number 27 was hard. All right. 27 was very hard. All right. Listen to me. Most of my kids last year missed this on the test. All right. Most of the kids missed it on the test. If I set an alarm is set to go off every 3/4 of an hour, if it goes off at noon, how many more times will it go off before midnight? Most people would say, Catherine, what? What do you think the answer is?
16 times.
All right. So most people said the answer was what? 16 times. Right? I can't really argue with that. Your logic. The only reason I can argue with you is, and listen, boys, all right, is that appears to be right until you read the question carefully. Right, now look, again, I'm trying to show you how you can make a very good score if you read carefully. Most people think they made 100 on the test, but they get their test back and they made a whole bunch of careless mistakes because they're not drawing it out properly. And I'm telling you the answer, if you thought it was 16, you can give yourself like a half a check or a check minus because that's not correct. All right? It's not correct. Now, how do I know that? So look right here, guys. So it goes off, right? Here is 12 hours. Do you agree? So this is 12 noon. This is 12 p.m. An alarm goes off every what? 3/4 of an hour, right? So what I have here now is this would be at what? 12:45. Then at what? 1:30. Then at what? 2:15, and then at what?
And then
3 o'clock. Right? Is everybody with me on that?
Yeah.
So that's boring to count it out. But if I counted it out, I would guarantee that I get what? The right answer. I would guarantee I would get the right answer. And you should be able to count by 45 minutes on the clock. All right? But now, watch what I'm showing you, because here's where you're going to make your mistake. So this is at 3 o'clock, correct?
Yeah.
So every 3 hours, it goes off what? 4 times, correct? Is everybody with me?
Yeah.
So then at 6 o'clock, it would go what? 6 o'clock, it would have rung how many times? So 8. And at 9, 12, right? At 9, it would go 12. Is everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
So then at 12, it seems like it should be what? 16, right? And so you think you're still correct until I read the question.
Before, so it's actually 15.
It's actually 15.
Oh, yes.
All right? It was actually 15. All right, does everybody see that?
Yeah. I got 15.
Right, because we're not counting what? We're not counting midnight. We're not counting midnight. All right? It says how many times will it go off before midnight? All right, before midnight. Yes.
Couldn't you also, rather than like leave it all out, could you also just do 12 divided by 3 so 16 minutes.
Yes. All right. But most people don't remember to do what?
Subtract 1.
Subtract 1. All right. So that's what I'm telling you. The numbers are small enough on here that you should be able to get it correct. All right. Now,
Yeah, that's
we did 28, correct?
Yes.
yes.
We did 28. All right. Now, 29. All right. I want to know what that answer is. Boys, what did you guys get back there? 5 cones.
That's what I got.
Anybody else? 5 cones.
I got 4.
4 cones is good. 4 cones I like. 5. Anybody get 6? Anybody get 7? Good. All right. I want you to have different answers because I'm trying to teach you how to think logically. And the biggest way to help yourself think logically is to draw the picture. Because what happens if you don't draw the picture, they can easily distract you and lead you to the wrong answer. All right? So now I promise you, if you draw this thing out properly, you'll easily see that there's what? You'll easily be able to see that it's 5 cones. Now, let me just go ahead and show you where your mistake is. The first thing is I would draw something 21 feet. Is everybody good on that? That's the first thing I did. Now, the next thing is would I put a cone here or here?
No.
No, because it says don't put one at the beginning or the end. Does everybody hear me?
Yes.
Right, so again, I'm not sure how people miss this. All right, and normally it's just because they're not reading carefully. It has nothing to do with your math skills. All right, it's just can you read carefully? All right, so now every 3.5 feet you put down a cone, right? So this is 3.5 feet. This is 3.5 feet. This is 3.5 feet. All right. Now, I start to see a pattern after I label it out because I know I have to go to 21. Hey. All right. Well, I go to 21. So the first cone and the second cone measure out to how many feet? 7 feet. Right, so now I know the problem's pretty easy because I know 7 goes into 21 evenly. Everybody agree with me? Right? So every 3.5 feet. So I started just to make sure I just counted by 3.5. And we should all be able to count by 3.5, so that'd be 10.5. And then 14, which I know I'm correct on 14 because 7 doubled 14. And then the next one was what? 17.5. And the last one was 21. So now you have to figure out why you made your mistake. All right? the cones go at 3.5, 7, 10.5, 14, 17.5, and not what? And not 21 or not 0. That's why the answer was what? 5 cones. Not 6 and not 7. All right, now sometimes on the test I'll say put the cones at the front and the back. Sometimes I'll say put it at the back and not the front. Sometimes I say I'll put it at the front and not the back. So you just have to read carefully. You have to draw it out and label it. All right? It's a very easy problem. All right? Now the next example I want to talk about real quick is the bouncing ball. All right? So take a look. And as you can see, this is how I'm doing it. This is how I'm doing it. The ball starts at 6 feet. And then when it hits the ground, it bounces 3/4 of its height. Now, what I want everybody to do is I want everybody to make sure that they understand 3/4 of. All right? That means multiply the answer by what? 3/4. Of in math means to multiply. Of in math means to multiply. So now you take your calculator out and you go 6 times 3/4. And the ball hits the ground and it bounces up to what? 4.5 feet. Now, is that less than halfway? No, because we want a number to be less than what? We want a number to be less than, we want the number to be less than 3. All right? So now I'm at 4.5 feet. What do you think I do with 4.5 feet?
Multiply it times 3/4.
And when you multiply that by 3/4, you get what?
3 3/8.
3 3/8. And you're not taking anybody's word for it. That's why you have a calculator. Now, is it less than 3 feet yet? No. So then you multiply by 3/4 again, and you get what?
2 and 17/32.
That's right. You get 2 and 17/32. Is that less than 3?
Yes.
Yes. So the ball bounced how many times?
3 times.
The ball bounced 3 times. All right. Now, again, listen to what I'm saying. I'm not expecting you to know how to do that. You don't look at that and say that's the answer. The problems are the way they are, and the way they're designed is to make you draw pictures out so you know what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. And if you draw the pictures, you'll be amazing, or you'll be amazed at how quickly you can get better at it. All right? And you'll start to see the pattern so you won't have to write or draw as much. But right now, you have to draw the picture, or you should draw the picture. All right? Now, a water cooler contains 10 gallons of water. If you drink 2/3 of a gallon each day, how long will the water last? That wasn't hard. Come on, guys, tell me. 15 days, right? 15 days. All right? 10 divided by 2/3. And again, you're trying to check yourself so you know which ones you should go back and redo. All right? All right. Now, the next one. All right? All right. The winner of the class president got 3/5 of the vote. If the winner got 3/5 of the vote,
The loser got 2/5.
that's right. The loser got 2/5. So I need you to put down loser
It's pretty easy.
and put down 2/5. That should be pretty easy. All right? Now, do you remember what I said about the word of?
Yes.
Multiplying.
That's the clue that you're going to multiply 3/5 times 2/5, which is what? What was 3/5 times 2/5? Or 3/5 times 200?
Okay.
120.
That's 120.
That was 120. So the winner got 120 votes.
Loser got 80.
That means the loser got 80. All right, yes, sir.
I did it a different way, which is probably a little bit harder. Instead, I just did 200 divided by 5.
That's good. You just cut it into fifths.
And then
3 out of those.
And then, which is 20 and multiply
Now, do you understand that's exactly the same as multiplying by 3/5?
No.
Shh. All right? Yes.
I was just a little confused on so after you got 3/5, well, I did 3/5 times 2/5, but
No.
were we supposed to do that?
No, not 3/5. It says they got 3/5 of the votes. How many people voted?
Oh, 200.
So it'd be 3/5 times 200.
Oh.
That's the winner. And then if you wanted to, 2/5 times 200 would be the loser. Yeah. Or you could subtract 200 minus 120. All right? Yes. Yep. I totally agree. Well, because 3 divided by 5 is what? 0.6. We know that. True? So 0.6 times 200 is the same as 3/5 times 200. Because 0.6 is the same as 3/5. Okay, question 33. The surface of the ice skating rink has 24 layers, and the thickness is 3/4 of an inch. So how much is each layer of ice? What would it be? What do I do, Nancy?
So you do 3/4 divided by.
Yay, very
24.
good. This one was 3/4 divided by 24.
That's 1/32.
That's correct. 1/32 of a what?
Inch.
1/32 of an inch. Hey boys, you guys, I hope y'all are going with me and paying attention and you're correcting your here. That's what I want y'all doing. All right?
I just, my
Okay. So, yep, there might be a charger right over there, buddy. That's how you take care of business. All right? Now, 34 and 35, are we all comfortable with that?
Yes, sir.
Just 5/8 divided by 5. Now, on 35, it's 15 divided by 3/4. Is everybody good on that? 15 divided by 3/4. All right. Now, look, there's no work on that. That's just a matter of use your calculator. All right. And then we did these kind of yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, we
So
did.
now, if you didn't get the answers, though, I want you to look up on the board and make sure you're good. We said 36 was 7 1/4. 37 is 2 3/4. 38 was 3 2/15. I'm sorry, it was negative 3 2/15. And then 39 was 7 21/25. And then 40 worked out to be 3 23/25. All right. Now again, double checking, verifying. Look up, make sure your answers are correct.
What's the answer to 38?
Wait, what was 40 again?
The answer to 38
Negative
was
3 and 2.
yeah, negative 3 2/15.
Okay, that's
40
right.
is 3 and 23.
Yes.
I did like grade 40 all right. I did the problem, like laid it out right, but I got it wrong.
That's just you didn't type it in properly. 2 4/5 divided by 5/7. Yes, sir. What? Okay.
With the improper fraction answer part of it, I got negative 37/15.
I don't think so. It should be negative 47/15. 3 times 15 is 45, right? Plug it in and see if you made a mistake. Go back and do 2/3 times 2 4/5 minus 7 times 5/7. Now, last call here real quick. Does anybody have any other questions? All right. Now, again, listen, your job is to make sure if you had trouble, you really should review the ones that you made a mistake on. All right. Right now, though, you're supposed to go to Google Classroom and pull up, I think it says more word problems. Right? And then on that, open it up, and we have how much time left?
We have about 3 minutes or 7 minutes.
7 minutes. So because we have 7 minutes now, I want you to sit there, and I want you to work for 7 minutes. All right?
Is
Now,
that test tomorrow?
No, it's Friday.
Friday. Oh.
all right.
Let's start recording.
Again, get busy. Open up the new one. All right? And I really just would like for you to do the odds. All right? Your homework is the odds. Is everybody with me on this? Homework is the odds of the
New